Hello, pickle people. We are back. We survived the holidays. I am Matthew K. Pickleball with my co-host, Mr. Wilson, the first pod of 2026. Can you believe this?
No, we made it. We made it into the
Can
new
you
year.
believe it, Wilson? He can't believe it. He's silent, folks. He's silent. But all right, we will keep things. Everyone's to make sure you're alive over there, Wilson. You good to go?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
So many commenters think I'm holding you hostage, but folks, we survived as a duo. We survived the holidays. We are back. I'm sure everyone was worried they'd be stuck with just me, but no, Wilson ain't going nowhere. But he does want me to remind you all, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like what we're doing, give us a like. All that does help us out. And then at the top of each pod, I usually give a few reminders about the ongoing giveaways on the channel. But Mr. Wilson, can you believe this?
What's up?
I am pretty much caught up. I'm always behind on giveaways, but I had some time over the holidays and I am caught up. We only have one giveaway still live. If you want to check out my review of the bread and butter loco line, we are giving away a free loco, which are not the easiest paddles to get. At least they haven't been. So go check that video out. And that's also a super helpful video if you're not sure which shape you want, because I kind of talk through the differences and which loco is right for what kind of player. But I thought before we move on, I made a little list, Wilson, and we're going to go through a few lists on this podcast. But I wanted to tell you and the folks listening what we gave away this past year. 2025 was a big year for giveaways on the Matthew K. Pickleball YouTube channel. Mr. Wilson, you were a big help in that. We gave away gear from PaddleTech, Carbon, Honolulu, Yola, Bread and Butter, Rhombus, 11624, Neonic, Franklin, Packle, 60, Thrive, KiwiLabs, Pickleball Poker. That's an oldie, folks. That was from the probably January, so check that video out. A company called Mozzie, Paddle Tap. They're coming out with some new paddles, by the way. Solace Pickleball Shoes, Dinkaroo, Bodhi, Pickleball Effect was even in on this. And then, believe it or not, folks, we gave away an electric fly swatter called the Pickle Zapper. And then, if you're watching this pod now, you probably just missed entering over on Instagram, exclusive to the Matthew K. Pickleball Instagram account. So definitely follow me over there if you want to get in on some of those kinds of giveaways. But we gave away a pizza paddle from a company called Savor Serve or Savor Server. I think it's Savor Server. Oh my gosh, my notes, folks. I'm out of practice. I ate a lot of brisket and a lot of cookies over the holidays, and I'm still recovering. And as soon as I got back to LA, it was rain. So I've only been able to sneak out one real pickleball session. I might as well be retired. But
Just a little rusty.
We're gonna talk
That's okay.
A little rusty. But yes, definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to get in on some giveaways. It's always the holidays over here on the Matthew K. Pickleball YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe to the YouTube, to the Instagram. All that helps us out. But yeah, I'm back from Arkansas, Wilson. I'm back to LA. I've rejoined you. I'm back. But, and yeah, it's now just rain. I don't know why I live in California. What the heck? But we did sneak one little pickleball session in before, and we got to play with some cool stuff, which we're going to talk about. But just to hint, Wilson is hit with a pre-production J6CR. I know folks want to know what a power hitter like you thinks. And then you got a few hits in with the crazy new P1 paddle from Spartus. So we're going to be talking about those further along in the pod. But first, Wilson, how was your holiday? How have you been?
It was good. It was a nice little break. Unfortunately, it was literally raining Christmas through New Year's and it's still raining now. But we did have there's a soft opening for an indoor pickleball courts nearby called Pickle Alley, and I actually got to stop by yesterday for their open play. They're like soft opening open play. I was gonna invite you. I'm sorry, but it was already filled up by the time I finished signing up. But their
All
next
good,
open play,
Wilson.
I'll definitely have to hit you up on that. But yeah,
You
I got
will.
to play indoors, so that was fun.
Great. Well, Pickle Alley, that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the folks putting that together are actually from one of my home courts, the Allendale crew. So
Really?
I'm excited to. Yeah, I've been tracking. They've been posting on Instagram. I've been tracking the transformation. So yeah, definitely hit me up. But folks, if you're like me and you're not always getting in the pickleball crew text messages, you're never the fourth. You're always the fifth or the sixth. Just watch some of the backlog of the Matthew K. Pickleball podcast or the YouTube videos. I'll be your friend. I'll be your fourth. You can be my fourth. We'll get through this together. But all right, Wilson, next time. But I did
Yeah.
want to also, since we're greeting a new year, I wanted to see if you had any resolutions that you wanted to share. I was thinking maybe in the pickleball universe, but it doesn't have to be pickleball. Like, what are you thinking for 2026? And folks, let us know what your resolutions are for the new year 2026 down in the comments. We read all of those, and it's great to hear from you. And maybe we could be what's that thing called? An accountability partner for
There
you.
you go.
So
Yeah.
Wilson is. I'm gonna probably make him my accountability partner. So all right, what are any resolutions?
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I'll just give you guys one pickleball and one life resolution, right? Uh, a life one is to try to cook more at home because I think my wife and I eat probably 90% out. We do like takeout like 90% of the time. It's just so convenient here in LA, right? I mean, you just walk out somewhere and we got restaurants down the street. So yeah, try to cook more. And for pickleball, really, since I don't get to play that much, really play with a purpose. Not just like whenever I get time on court, whenever I get to even play pickleball, play with purpose. Don't just, go and play nonchalantly. Play to get better. So those are my
Okay,
two. How about you?
so so play with purpose. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
But so that means you kind of you set an intent for every time you go out and play,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
try to. All right, I like that. I
Yeah.
think
So
that's a great
I'm gonna be
idea.
body bagging you every
For
single time we
me,
play.
what, bag me every time? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah. It's all purpose. It's all intent and purposes.
I'd like to see you try to do that, Wilson.
Ooh.
I've seen
Hey,
you
if I do, it better be on one of your
play.
reviews, all right?
I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. All right. Well, for me, I actually have a few resolutions, Mr. Wilson. I know it's hard to imagine me wanting to improve this, but yes, I there's room for improvement, folks.
You are the
But
example of perfection.
yes, thank you, folks. He's going to charge me quite a bit for making that comment later. But yeah, my resolutions. I have a lot of like personal stuff. My girlfriend and I, we got to get our apartment in shape. It is a little crazy here. You were a bit of a witness. I gave you a peek behind the curtain, but of where all my pickleball stuff is. There's nothing weird that we're talking about here, guys. Wilson just saw how my the review game, how that gear can pile up, and it's like it's hard to, it's like an archaeologist like going through layers. Like it's like if you miss something, like the layers pile. Anyway, but I'm gonna try to get that under control. But actually, my other resolution is to actually just play more pickleball. This past year, I was so focused on like bringing new formats to the channel, like the podcast, and figuring out different things in the creation space. I didn't play as much, and so I want to play more pickleball, and then I also want to get quicker with paddle coverage in particular, because sometimes I take a while to like test, and then the video comes out like after everyone else's videos come out, and so no one clicks on it. So I want to get a little quicker, and I think that might mean being a little different with how I do my videos. So I don't have that all figured out in my head just yet, but gonna experiment with some different kinds of content, even outside the podcast and even outside a traditional review. And we'll see, or maybe I'll just change how I do my traditional reviews. Folks, if you got ideas, comment down below. I am always interested. But mainly, the way I record my videos is I have like this setup that is just kind of cumbersome to do because I'm using a very old camera. It doesn't have autofocus, so it's got a lot of issues, and it needs a lot of light. And so we'll see. I got ideas. And then, Wilson, here's the big one. And this is going to mean you going out into the public, begging people to help out, because I want to hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers this year. All right. Okay. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I think it's doable. We're almost at 5,000, folks. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, because I wanted to hit 5,000 before the end of last year, but
close. Then you're so close.
We got very close, but yeah, once December comes and I do some remote work at that point to visit my family and hang out with my parents, and it's just there's no pickleball there to do any testing and whatnot, and I actually spend a good chunk of December pretty much away from pickleball, and so that always hurts because that's when everyone does their roundups and all that. And
as you should.
I'll do the paddle of the year maybe. Well, I'll just do it, towards the end of 2026. But yeah, that's kind of my goal, and I think I know I don't want this to be too cumbersome for you, but I think there's some things I can do even outside of making you work super, super hard. So we'll see.
No.
But yeah, those are my goals. So help me out with that. But yeah, are you ready to kick it off? You want to just truck along into the pod?
Yeah, let's do this.
You're ready? All right. But, well, today's episode is powered by IntuitSport, a performance-driven sports equipment brand dedicated to giving athletes everywhere access to elite-level gear without the elite-level price tag. IntuitSport is rapidly expanding its lineup across multiple sports, with pickleball front and center, all with one mission: make high-quality, innovative equipment affordable for everyone. They believe the playing field should be level, and the best gear shouldn't be reserved for the few. While pickleball is their current focus, IntuitSport's product range is about to blow up, and they're quickly becoming a company to watch. Check them out at IntuitSport.com and use promo code MatthewK to save 15% on any product. Thank you, IntuitSport, for powering today's episode. Also, be on the lookout because I'll be doing a giveaway for some IntuitSport gear over on Instagram. Definitely follow me over at Matthew K Pickleball so you don't miss out. And that is the end of our sponsored segment. But thank you, IntuitSport, for being our podcast's first sponsor. And that really helps. That kind of stuff really helps the channel keep going. So, folks, if you know of any other folks that want to get in on sponsoring some content, definitely shoot me a message. Over on Instagram, my email's down there. However, that'd be great. That would help. That would help the 2026 pursuit to 10,000 subscribers. But all right, I know folks have been, maybe folks have been like me, away from pickleball. And before we talk gear, and we're going to talk gear, I promise. But once again, the question of the pod is this a pickleball podcast? And we are going to make you question that right now, because before we move into gear, it is movie time. All right, Mr. Wilson, we gotta talk about it. Marty Supreme is out. One of the Safdie brothers has gone out on his own and made a movie all about our favorite paddle sport. Wait, not our favorite, our second favorite. It's about ping pong. But I heard you caught this flick. Is that right?
Yeah, I actually it was just out on a whim, and a friend was gonna go watch it by himself, and he just said, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just tag along. I actually said yes without even knowing what the movie's premise was about. And then when I watched the first trailer before heading over there to watch the movie, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool."
All right, all right. Well, I also checked it out. I guess I knew going into it what it was. I know the Safdies for a long time, and so I was excited to watch it. And yeah, it's kind of a divisive movie. I think it's got a little
Yeah.
bit of a generational divide as far as like folks haven't. We don't see a lot of anti-hero movies. I think that's how
Yeah.
the Los Angeles Times described Timothy Chalamet's character. I'm not sure I would describe it so much as an anti-hero because I think we could root for his success in what he was pursuing, but we also, I imagine, I
Ah.
know you. All right, well, you were rooting for him to step up and do what he needs to do in his life, right? Is that?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
couldn't he win a ping pong game too? Like, were you really rooting against him winning ping pong?
Again, like I told you, I'll tell everyone listening to us, it's not his goals that made me dislike him. It's just the way he went about it. He literally threw everyone under the bus for him to get over the bridge.
Almost
and,
literally.
and
Almost
and
literally.
almost literally. And at the end,
Wait, spoiler
oh
alert.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, spoiler
Wait, are
alert.
you gonna
Yeah.
spoil it?
I no, no, I forgot. I don't review movies, but yeah, I remember watching reviews and they were like spoiler alert. So yeah. So
Well, did you
spoil
like it? I don't even know if I did.
okay. Overall, it was a positive experience. I enjoyed the movie. Um the filming of everything was really nice. I enjoyed everything about it. It was a fun watch. And if
All right.
a I don't know if it is what is it called, a broad release or something,
I
um
think it's in wide release right now
wide
because I saw it
release.
in Arkansas.
Okay, I had to watch it
Yeah.
at like one of those small indie movie like a Lemley. Yeah,
I mean that's a major chain,
is
but
that considered a major chain?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
But I'm sure it's at the AMC's and whatnot. But yes, it definitely, I think it's probably relevant to pickleballers in the sense that I feel once everyone gets involved in pickleball, sometimes we go into the extremes because you
Yes,
have so much fun. And just like Timothy Chalamet's character, like we can sometimes get blinded by our goals. I want to be
tunnel
4-0.
vision.
Exactly. And so, folks, and just like we just talked about our goals, it's good to have goals. We all know that. But don't let it. Blinders can always be a toxic thing. And I've heard a lot of pickleball stories, at least online, of like people going a little too hard in like their pursuit of whatever they want in pickleball
Marriages
and
were
let
ended. Friendships
I mean,
were lost.
right. So I don't know. So folks, maybe check out Marty Supreme. You can see the extreme version, and I don't know. You might walk away with some lesson learned. I don't know. But all right, all right. But that's not the only. That's not the only semi pickleball movie. We got a straight up pickleball flick that I have watched as
I have
well.
not.
It's called A Pickleball Christmas. This is floating around on the internet a little bit in our small circle of pickleball fanatics, but it is a Lifetime movie. If you've got a cable subscription, folks, you might not know this, but you can log into the Lifetime app over on your smart TV, and you'll be able to watch the movie. But I believe you have a connection with this movie. Am I correct?
Oh, it's just, I guess, yeah, I would say it's a connection. It's pretty cool. One of our local coaches at the iPickle in Arroyo, Blake Rutledge, is one of the writers, or I don't know if he's the only writer, but he was one of the writers for this movie. So that was pretty cool. The iPickle actually had a showing with the projector and everything, projected outside and stuff, and they played it. That was pretty cool. I wasn't
Very
there, but I
cool.
just see it on Instagram. And I might have to log into Lifetime's app and watch it one of these days.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have
How did you
cable?
like it? Huh? I do
Wait, do you have cable?
not.
Oh, well,
I
that
don't. I
would
just
be
have a bunch
tricky.
of
But
streaming stuff,
yes,
streaming
but
services.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Um, but yeah, it
maybe
was cool.
do a trial. But I
Yeah,
did check
yeah.
it out. I did not know Blake iPickle coach was involved with it. But I believe he is the sole writer. And folks, if you're not in LA, you don't get how big of a deal it is to write a movie and get it produced. So huge hat off to Blake for making that happen. And yes, I could definitely tell when I was watching this movie. First off, I was just like, how was I not an advisor on this? But now I know because an actual really good player wrote the dang thing, so he was on set. But I definitely. There are some dialogue components that definitely made me feel like, oh, they got someone that knows about pickleball to write this thing, which is definitely not the case with a lot of movies. I'm going to be very curious how Ben Stiller's pickleball movie turns out, because I don't know if they had a picklehead in their in Final Draft like Blake was. But yeah, definitely some things rang true. I know some of the internet's doing a little bit of a roast of some of the actors, how they played pickleball, but I actually have to abstain from that myself because the villain played by Matty Finocchio, I actually cast in a short film a long time ago. If anyone's searching out Matty Finocchio, Tell That to His Part, you can check it out on my old YouTube channel. I guess I could reveal it. Matthew Condart, Kaundart. If you really want to go check out, it's a thriller short film. It played at a couple short film festivals before I took a bit of a break. If anyone's looking to finance a feature, folks, send me a message. I got a project, but he's great. He's based in Canada now, and it seems he's a very, very fun talent. And so he was cast in somewhat of a supporting role, and then the main pickleballer, is this guy named James Lafferty. People love him. I read all the letterbox. He's known for One Tree Hill, but he seemed like he had he could play. It was clear he's played some paddle sports. His co-star, who's supposed to be the coach, there is some questionable things, but it didn't hurt the story. Like, it's a classic. I am a sucker for Hallmark. For Lifetime's a whole nother beast, but I like Lifetime as well. Netflix has taken this genre as well, and my girlfriend and I, we always watch some cheesy Christmas or holiday like Lifetime movies, and I picked this year's A Pickleball Christmas. It was a fun watch. Classic, like, can they keep the business running, and will this love story empower that? And so you'll have to watch to find out, folks. But a lot of I know way too much about the industry to say to bash on anything, and there's really nothing to bash. Yes, the actors could probably utilize a couple extra clinics from iPickle, but folks, if you guys didn't realize that thing's filmed in Canada, so I don't know if iPickle's up there, but yeah, it was a very fun watch, and kudos to everyone. Yeah,
I definitely whenever we go hang out next time, I want to ask you about all your insights, your insider, like what you felt and what you thought about all the movies and everything. That would be pretty interesting.
I just told you, Wilson. I know how hard it is. It is hard. I know how hard it is to get a project made. So nothing but respect for everyone in all of these projects. And A Pickleball Christmas, it's a fun ride. Go check it out, and then check out Marty Supreme if you want. Like, they're on the other sides of the spectrum as far as who the characterizations that you're empathizing with or watching. But all right, enough movie time, folks. Let us know down in the comments what other movies should we be checking out for the next segment. We'll definitely be talking about the Ben Stiller one, which, funny enough, it is time. Let's do a fit check. Today's shirt, this is a classic from Crispy Dinks, and they have also released some new some new apparel, which hopefully I'll get to check out. But speaking of Ben Stiller's movie, you see this corded hat, folks? Promo code Matthew K over at KiwiLabs will get you some savings on this bad boy here. And I believe, I don't have it mixed up. They're the company that helped out with Ben Stiller's upcoming movie. Cool. So, and they've got a foam paddle coming that people are really wanting me to check out. I believe I have one in the mail. But KiwiLabs, they're a company to watch. They don't get covered by the big reviewers quite as much, but they're Michigan based. Larry over there, I did a whole interview with him. Check that out over on the podcast. But very cool company, and they have a freaking cool hat. And so that's what I got. What do you think? How's this fit? I had to put it together because
I like the hat.
All right.
Yeah.
I love a corded hat. All right. Okay, folks, this is probably what you've been waiting for. It is time to talk Honolulu pickleball. We have been hitting with, both of us, a pre-production version of the Honolulu J6CR. I've got the production versions coming, but I thought I'd walk everybody through what's happening over at Honolulu, and then Wilson, our resident power player, has hit with this one, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. But first, I wanted to let everybody know the J2CR, so the hybrid version of this paddle, is currently on pre-order. And so that's new. That's an update. But I guess I'll just walk through everything. So the J6CR is still on pre-order. The second batch sold out. The third batch ships February 5th. And since I'll just walk you through all the info I've got. So this is, and of course, an elongated paddle. And, actually, first, let's talk about what is the CR line. Do you know what it stands for, Wilson?
I don't know. I can't even guess.
Well, there are a couple things it stands for, but the main thing is it is Core Reactor. And that's Honolulu's take on, they're calling it Gen 4.5, and maybe it is, but basically it's a multi-density paddle, all foam, and it's utilizing a floating pivoting core. And so what's different about this is it's got the EPP center, but the EVA perimeter foam is interlacing in a unique way. And I have a little video that has a CT scan of it, so you can sort of see how it's unique. But and so and the other part of that system, which hasn't been quite as highlighted on Honolulu's website, is that the core has some channels built into it. And that's a theme we're going to be talking about later in the pod with another company as well. But so all of that is creating a very unique feeling Gen 4 or full foam paddle. In my opinion, I've been hitting with the pre-production version for quite a bit. I've talked already. The pre-production version, to me, plays like a very powerful Gen 3 paddle in the sense that it has very familiar touch and feel in the short game, but with very activated power on hard swings that you put any sort of power behind. Great for putaways, great for serves. And so the production version is supposed to be even more powerful. And so what do you think? You hit with this. So for me, I hit mostly with this right before I left LA. I did a couple of games over at Rec Play before I retired from pickleball for the month. And what I just said, those impressions were with how line up with how those games went. And then I played with this a couple times in Arkansas. This was the only paddle I played with in December, but I didn't really play with that much. But I was playing indoors, not like a real pickleball court, is linoleum tiles. It's in an old Sears. It's where my dad plays, and that's where he's got a senior crew. And so I'm playing half speed, I guess I'm playing I'm trying not to give any older folks black eyes before Christmas dinner. So I actually got to practice drops quite a bit with this and what was crazy is it's very easy to drop with this in that weird scenario. And then when I came back, though, haven't been playing competitively. Still very easy to hit drops with this, but I did notice I was hitting long once I was in any sort of competitive scenario. So it's either opened up and become more powerful, or I mean, I think that's what happened, or I'm just so rusty I can't calibrate as well. But my take is still the same, like an very, very nice feel in the touch game, but still tons of power on harder swings. And so I know you got a few hits in this. You want to tell folks what you thought? And once again, this is of the pre-production version, which is supposed to be is not supposed to be as powerful as what is being shipped out now. So what'd you think?
So yeah, my first thought while just hitting with that, I don't know what to expect from the production one because this was already pretty powerful. So, I mean, good luck to everyone who is going to be playing against the production version of this. I think this is gonna move them back up to a power level, a power paddle level, because with all the new foam paddles, I know that they're J6 FC Plus and NFs have been kind of knocked down to more of an all court power leaning level. So this one's definitely their power paddle, power level paddle, which I like. The shape is what people are familiar with if they have played with the J6 NF or FC Plus. The grit is just the same. It's typical Honolulu high level grit. Beautiful. Yeah, so I did notice that it was much louder though than the FC or the NF. So it has a more hollowy feel to it. And of course it had more power. But overall, I'm excited to see what the production one will feel like. Yeah, this one's really fun, and I controlled it fine. I didn't have any issues with drops and dinks. It was still relatively forgiving. I think I really like J6's Honolulu's like J6 shape, their elongated shape. For whatever reason, it doesn't feel, the sweet spot doesn't feel as narrow as traditional elongated paddles. Whatever their cutouts are and everything really makes the swing weight feel a little lighter and the sweet spot slightly bigger than what I am used to right off the bat from elongated paddles. So, good for Honolulu, and I'm excited to see what they have to bring with the production.
And the CR line in particular, what the augmentations they're doing with those channels in the core are supposed to enhance the sweet spot even more. So if you thought the NF version of the J6 or the FC Plus version of the J6 had a big sweet spot, this is supposed to expand it even more.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, this elongated shape with the philosophy that came from the J2 with that kind of widened or filled out cheek down on the bottom, I could definitely see what you're saying, that it feels a little bigger than other elongated paddles, especially when you're comparing it to Honolulu's previous, I believe they're J7 elongated. Like, I definitely think this is the shape. Well, what do you think about the price? $175.50 after promo code Matthew K. Is that a good price for a power?
I think so. That's super competitive. I mean, that is, loco level. And I think, do you know what the warranty is? Is it 1 year?
Yes. So they're doing, for the CR paddles, Honolulu's doing a full year. So I think they could have, so I think they're pricing it at the same as the FC Plus and the NF. And I think they could have definitely raise it if they want it. And so I appreciate that they're keeping it at that price point. And so, I think we're going to be talking about a couple more paddles, but I think 2026, top of the year, we already have some major juggernauts come onto the scene, which is another reason why I thought putting the time into the top paddles of 2025, things already at the end, December to January, the whole scene's changing as far as what's being released. And so love what Honolulu's doing with this. And I can confirm, I just mentioned it before, the J2CR is also, so right now the J6, the second batch sold out, and the third batch is shipping February 5th. And so this paddle, just going over the stats that Honolulu has already released, the average weight of the production version is supposed to be 8 to 8.2 ounces. Swing weight, that big range again of 114 to 120. Kind of like their previous elongated NF, NFC Plus, kind of a bigger range. But I feel folks that are looking at this shape in particular aren't going to mind that heavier swing weight. The twist weight, 6.5 to 6.8. And then, this is 16.48 inches, 7.52 with the beefy 6-inch handle. And we just said it does have that 1-year warranty. And then right now, they do have the J2CR on pre-order. That just dropped. I don't think it's sold out just yet. I don't see it. Based off of how fast the J6 CRs went, I don't see them staying with this first batch super long. The first batch, though, is going to be shipping February 28th, 2026.
So long
so that's
from now.
a beat. That's a beat. But they do have both the normal J2 shape and the long handle version available for pre-order. But if you want that paddle, I don't think you're going to want to sit too long on pre-ordering it, because then it's going to move, I imagine, to that second batch. Remember, we're talking about third batch of the J6 CR. And so and those folks that were on the first batch of the J6 CR, they're already playing with it. So if you want the J2 shape, I know I've been talking to folks on YouTube in particular, they're waiting for the J2 shape. It's here. I would go now. Make sure you use promo code MatthewK. They have the normal handle. They have the long handle version. And they have the stats listed. It seems like they're posting the same stats for both versions, but 8 to 8.3 static weight, swing weight 110 to 114, classic Honolulu. Maybe you could get a little lighter version than what you might be used to swing weight wise, but massive 7.0, I believe, twist weight. And then it's the classic 16.2 inches long, 7.8 inches wide. And then, yes, they're saying the short handle is 5.5 inches, long handle is 6 inches, and it's still that 1-year warranty. And then I do have a review unit of the J3 CR coming as well. That's not yet posted on the site, but all of these are $175.50 after promo code MatthewK. So that's the J6 CR, which we've been talking about, the J2CR, the J2CR with the long handle, and the J3CR. J3CR is not yet on the site, but super excited. And all of them are using that carbon fiber, fiberglass carbon fiber layup with the Honolulu's Gen 4.5 or full foam core with all of that pivoting technology. And it's a super exciting release. I mean, Wilson, I hope we can find a day this coming week to play, maybe put a group together, because I should be getting them, and people want to know, Wilson. Folks, comment down below. Should Wilson play pickleball with me this week? All right, let us know. Do you want to know what these play like? But that is not all the exciting stuff we've got, though. So let's just chug along. What are we testing right now? This is presented by our friends over at SwiftNet. If you're looking for the best portable net, check them out. Use promo code MatthewK to get the best price. But when I came back, I don't know if you saw this on Instagram, I posted the giant storage units worth of stuff I had coming back. Yes, so a lot came. The pile got a little ridiculous, but the one that and it was raining, but I got a little text from Wilson. I did get invited. I didn't get invited to the movie. I didn't get invited to the indoor play, but he sent me a text. There's a gap in the rain, and he's like, Matthew, I'm going to go play at the courts in case you want to swing by. And boy, did I swing by. But I ripped open. So I had like this much time before that rain. And this is the paddle that I was wanting to hit with. This is the Spartus P1. So I had to grip this one up. I came late because I was getting this set up because I wanted to actually hit with it. We did a whole podcast about the Spartus, about Spartus's new paddles, what they're working on. And if you remember, folks, the P1 was kind of like a paddle that they did they've been working on a lot of new tech, both core and surface treatment. And this is one that they rushed out to bring to the masses because they wanted to introduce this face material. And basically, this is using what they call permagrit surface and their Gen 4 floating foam core tech. Or basically the full foam tech we've been seeing, but with their take on of a longer lasting, grittier surface. And so kind of a familiar core, but a very unique surface. And basically they talk about this on their website. It uses, and I don't even think this was up on the site when we did our last podcast, going through all the info we had, but I like how they describe it. It's a crystalline finish that sparkles in the sunlight. I don't know if it's catching on camera, but it definitely looks different. It is not like your typical like solid black carbon fiber surface. There's like almost like a wash look to it. And yeah, the whole idea is it's supposed to, as they say, deliver insane spin and shot shaping control with a tactile feel unlike anything else. And so that's what it's advertising. I played with you a little bit, Wilson, then I hung around. A little bit of the cobwebs got shaken off, and I was playing a little more normal. I also found some lower level people to play across, so that helped. And so this thing has crazy spin, crazy bite on the ball, and the whole premise that they're saying is like the peak spin is supposed to last longer compared to other surfaces that we've seen. And so we've seen like this kind of chemical grit before. I don't exactly want to put words, describe it, but we've seen takes on surface treatments. Of course, like the Infinity Grit with Boomstick, right? Right, yeah. So we've seen stuff like this, but this is Spartus's take. It's definitely different, in my opinion. Like this, like feels like I wouldn't say it feels smooth, but if you've ever felt different kinds of sandpaper, like ones with high density grit, that's what this feels like. So there are a lot of peaks, and then it has these lines. I don't know if that's just for looks or what that's supposed to be doing, but it just looks different. And yes, if you've ever watched my play footage, everybody knows that all I got is curve. That's all I got. I was doing the banana serve before people were making videos about it. That's pretty much my only serve. And with the new power paddles, I've learned it's kind of hard to do a short banana serve when you're on the left. So like you're aiming for, if you're serving from the left side, you're trying to aim for the front kitchen line corner. That's kind of hard to achieve with some of these more powerful paddles. This, you can do it. And it's because a lot of my play in particular is coming, I'm not a big hitter. I don't have big backswing. I don't drive with a lot of power. And I'll probably be working on that this year. But my serves are not typical top spin serves. Everything of mine is a banana serve. It's a long story why that came about, but that, and then I do some short flat serves when I'm playing on the right side. But my game is not. I'm not utilizing dwell from the core like on a tennis racket or like a lot of these new foam paddles. Oh my goodness, folks, we have a guest star. Pardon the interruption. Holy smoke. Buffy is here. Buffy. She crawled. Mama left you all alone. All right, everybody.
Hey, Buffy.
It's a Christmas miracle. Buffy's on the pod. All right, you want to sit? Good girl. Yeah, you want to... Buffy is such a fan of the Spartus P1. She had to come in. I always just want Buffy to be on the podcast, and she'll never come. So I'm just so excited. But anyway, so for me, a lot of my play style is getting spin on softer hits, which means I'm getting my spin not from the dwell on these new foam cores, but from old school style, from the paddle surface. And for me, the P1 from Spartus, this has the... And I gotta test this more, we'll talk about this on more pods, but this, for me, had the most spin and bite on the ball of any paddle I've played with. But
even more than the Honolulus? Fresh Honolulus? That's kind of hard.
I would say, but just based off of my first test session, I was able to get grab on the ball in a way I have not ever been able to for a next gen paddle. And so I would, something is different, because I mean, this is not crazy different core design than the FC Plus. And so, I think so. It was so funny because after you left, Wilson, I did grab one other game with your higher level friend, and we were playing together. It wasn't the game right after. I played another game, and because he's kind of intimidating. He's really good. He's playing in flip-flops, guys. Gosh.
Yeah.
People that play in flip-flops and then beat you up, that's always like, I need to be better. But anyway,
he wasn't wearing his glasses.
He wasn't wearing glasses, and like eyesight glasses, folks. But no, it wasn't for eyesight. It was for protection. That was what he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
I think he could see the ball. Don't make me feel that bad, Wilson. But anyway, I actually grabbed him to be on my team because someone needed a fourth, and like I saw him. He was playing in a game like with some folks that those pop-ups. I was like, I don't think he had a fun game, and so I knew he was gonna go soon. And so I grabbed him, and then he saw me hit it, and he was playing with the Loco. I believe the elongated, and he saw
hybrid. It was hybrid.
He was playing with the hybrid.
Yeah.
Okay. And he saw this, and he asked about it, and then he saw the spin that I was getting, and he's like, I think I might have to get a Spartus. And so I think Spartus is going to make waves with this if they can get enough produced. Because one thing that's different about this paddle is it's assembled in the U.S. And so that is typically a bottleneck. We'll see. I'm sure they're sorting that out. But that is one of their missions, is to like be more U.S. based manufacturing wise. But so this one is not fully made in the U.S., but is assembled in the U.S., and it is USAP approved. I checked the list date. It's listed for December 12th of last year. But yeah, what did you think about it? You got a few hits.
Yeah, I got a few hits. I actually played 2 games with it, or maybe 1. But either way, it's a great paddle. It's a typical floating core foam Gen 4 floating core foam paddle. It felt fine. It played fine. But regarding your talking about the grits, I don't think it's as gritty as the J6CR. I was able to, like, at the kitchen line, I was able to direct the ball and spin the ball a lot more with the J6CR when I was playing with both of
Right.
them. However, when I am back at the baseline doing drives, drops, and drips, I did not notice the difference as much. Maybe it's due to the core build and everything. They both perform pretty well with spinning the ball with full swings and drives. However, at the net, dinking, speed ups, and everything, the J6CR's grit was a little better. However, their permagrit, Spartus's permagrit is, I think, it doesn't necessarily, like, for example, the Infinigrit from Selkirk, or the, is it Diamond Grit from Ruby Pro? Is that what it's called?
I believe all of 6-Zero's new paddles
Okay.
utilize diamonds
It's called,
within their
do they have a
grit
name for that?
makeup. I'm sure they do. They have a name
Okay.
for everything, so I'm
Anyways,
sure they do.
so what happens is, like, it's not the fact that it's like super, like the P1, it's not super gritty off the bat. However, if it could stay and maintain the same grittiness for longer, I'd be happy with that, if that makes
I hear
sense.
you.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
like super nail filing grit, but if it maintains its original grit for longer, then it would be a win.
got it. All right. I mean, Honolulu makes gritty paddles.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, sorry.
uh,
One more
Go
thing.
ahead.
This paddle, like I said, the J6CR was kind of hollow sounding and super, you can feel the pop and power. This one's a little heavier and, I would say, denser. It still has the power that a floating core paddle would have, but it just felt more dense and heavier, more solid than the J6CR. Just a preference on feeling. Yeah.
Definitely. So, yeah, I mean, I think for context, I definitely probably I don't have as big of a swing as you. But yeah, I mean, the only reason I would think the P1 might be the grittiest is because I was able to execute a shot that is very difficult in these new power paddles. But I should try that again with the CR in the same outdoor context of playing. But regardless of if it's the grittiest, it's definitely produces crazy amount of spin.
Hmm.
And I do know you thought it felt a little swingy, a little heavy for its shape.
Sure. Yeah, it's a
And
hybrid, but the swing weight was it felt pretty high.
yeah, they're advertising a 116 to 119 swing weight. So that is in the world of the J6CR. It's in
Yeah,
they're in the very similar ranges. For me, though, it felt very maneuverable
that's true.
because Wilson had said that to me. And I was like, okay. And then I didn't notice it. I'm pretty sensitive to that, but I didn't notice that. But then, of course, if you do feel it's swingy, but you're a hybrid lover, you want those fast hands, you can always add some pickleball effect or some slice, whatever slice's handle weight is called, down on the handle. 6 grams would probably would change that feeling for you. But I am very used to the balance point of hybrids. In fact, I think I'm going back to hybrids this year. And so I appreciated having that power, but it didn't feel heavy to me. But I have been hitting elongated for the last bit of 2025. So going back to hybrid was just super nice for me. And yeah, 16.25 inches, 7.7 inches wide, 5.3 inch grip with what they're advertising as a 4.25 inch circumference handle, which I appreciate. And then I already mentioned it's a 116 to 119 swing weight, but the twist weight is 6.8. So pretty solid. And then this is using carbon fiber and fiberglass in its face material. I don't have any info on the layering, but they're advertising a 2,100 plus RPM spin for folks that follow those numbers. And then the warranty is 1 year. limited warranty. And so once again, the whole idea is to have spin and grit that lasts. And so I think the P1, we'll see how it lasts. We'll be covering this. I'm very, very excited about this paddle. My first impressions are freaking very, very good on this. And then that's what I'm saying. Like, we have crazy stuff happening at the top of the year. And the other one that I was really jonesing to check out when I got back to LA was Volair's Shift paddles. I've got the wide body here, and then they have an elongated. I believe Mr. Wilson has done a few hits on that. And then there is a hybrid, which I hope to get because it is, I watched a presentation Volair did covering this new line, which it seems Pickleball, etc. Our friend over the co-host, the major big paddle nerd over on Pursuits podcast, he had a hand in developing these. And he talked about the hybrid. It is not Volair's old hybrid shape. They have basically, Volair's always been about this shape right here, their wide body. I did a whole review on this shape, on this paddle before. It's just a classic control paddle shape that some people have really emulated since then. But their hybrid was always a little bit different. It didn't have that flavor of stability, I don't think, if I remember right, as their wide body. And basically that, I think, is how they've changed their hybrid. I think they've pulled the cheeks down, if I remember right. But hopefully I'll get one. But the Shift is like Volair's foray into like making a legit like paddle like to stand up in this new tech. And basically it's a full foam paddle, but they're doing something different. If you see here, I have half of their core here. And basically we've been talking about foam channels. And I'm not talking about just holes through paddles, but channels. And we talked about that with some other paddles in this podcast. But Volair's take is this kind of, I wouldn't call it a maze, but these shapes with that
chambers
continue on. Chambers, channels, yeah, chambers.
Channels.
But what's interesting is, so this is the interior, and then they do that, and then they sandwich the core together. If I understand everything right. I'm actually not sure if they sandwich it or if it's molded like this, but the bigger part is these channels are on the interior of the core. And so then the face material is able to bond to a uniform surface. So the idea is that's going to help with disc bonding, which makes sense to me. I would be curious, Pickleball, etc., if you watch the pod, let us know, is the core assembled from two pieces, or is it injected with these channels or chambers and it's one piece to begin with? I'd be super curious. Maybe I'll try to get some clarification as well. But regardless, the channels are on the interior of the foam core, and then the paddles, the surface material, all the rest of the paddle gets to bond to this surface. And then, of course, it's got, I believe it's EVA filling out the rest, because I think this is the elongated. I'm not sure which of this is, but if it's the elongated or this one, but basically there's additional foam filling it out, and so it is a full foam floating core, and it's using T700 carbon fiber, yeah, it's actually 4 layers of carbon fiber. They're foam paddles. They're doing 14 millimeter thickness. The wide body one here I have is about 8.1 ounces as what they're aiming for. 106 swing weight, 7.35 twist weight. So you got stability for days. And then they're just doing these crazy designs, these two-face designs. Do you want to show yours, the elongated?
Yeah.
And so crazy options. They've got apparel in this theme. The one Wilson's holding is the elongated. It's a static weight of 8.2 ounces, target, and then swing weight of 120 to 6, and then a twist weight of 6.31. And then the hybrid, which we don't have, is a new hybrid shape. And that one is target swing weight of 116, target twist weight of 6.67. So hopefully we'll be able to hit with that one. And all of them, I believe you can order right now, and they're $171 after promo code MathUK. I have not had a chance to hit with mine just yet. But once again, it's a full foam floating core with a patent pending engineered flex. And so we've heard that, the CR, that's everyone I think is trying to figure out how to get good feel with these foam paddles. And I think that was my prediction of what we're going to see companies race for this year is paddle feel. I think that's going to be really interesting because that is like one of the hardest things I think to get across to consumers, even from reviewers, because paddle feel is subjective. But I do think a lot of the reviewers have gotten I've been articulating it pretty well, especially differentiating diving board foam versus full floating core foam design. And so we'll see how that goes. But Mr. Wilson, you've hit with the elongated. I know it's just a few hits, but any first impressions you can share?
Yeah. So first thoughts on this Volair is that I like it to a certain extent. So I am gonna put this in the control category. This might be one of like the very few control oriented foam paddles out there right now. But the feel is great. Their marketing is accurate. That the core allows it to be very controllable. It's definitely doesn't really have the pop and power that I'm used to, from the the Loco or any other powerful foam paddles. But yeah, let's just go from the bottom to the top. The grip is nice because it's a 14 millimeter. It's usually a little thinner than the 16 millimeter equivalents. I really don't feel the floating core feel, but the sweet spot's really big. And I wonder if it's because of the way they fused all the parts in there. So that's really nice. But one thing that stood out to me when I was playing on the challenge court yesterday was the grit and the feel of the paddle. Like I said, this is a control paddle. And I really like that about that because I didn't have to worry about controlling the power of the ball. I can swing freely. I can direct the ball. I can do a two-hand on the outside of the ball when I'm dinking. I can shape the ball even when I'm dinking, which is amazing. I like that. But one thing I do notice that some people may not like so much is that when I was warming up with this, I noticed how hefty it felt for a 14 millimeter. I know it's elongated, but for 14 millimeter, traditionally it should feel a little lighter. I think this one was 8 point. They wrote the specs on the plastic handle wrap. Mine was 8.2 ounces and 121 swing weight. So that's kind of hefty for a 14 millimeter. I was able to handle it, but some people may have some difficulty with that. That means for a 121 swing weight, you won't have too much room to customize, unfortunately. But sweet spot's good right out of the box. Grit is great. So you might not have to actually customize it too much to make it playable. So all in all, great control foam paddle.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll have to see if it opens up power-wise after you play with it some more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be hitting with the wide body. That one would be the more control-oriented one. But I don't know. I'm a fan of 14 millimeter foam paddles, so I think that totally makes sense. But it's definitely, it's got a good amount of foam in there, the EPP. Yeah. So I could totally see that. But all right, folks, make sure you subscribe because Who knows if it will open up once Wilson gets some more hits in. And all right, well, I think let's chug along. I think we're going to talk about two more paddles before we wrap up. I want to talk about Scoops and the Friday. And so
Okay.
I know you've been hitting with a paddle from a smaller company called Scoop. You've been hitting with the Scoop Hellcat 1.0. Do you want to walk us through some? I don't know how much time you got in on
Yeah.
that paddle, but
I got
tell
a
us
whole
what you've.
Yeah, I got a few. I got like 2, 3 sessions in with it. This, on the other hand, it's the opposite of the Volair Shift. This is a 14 millimeter. I don't know if they come in a 16 millimeter. Maybe Matt can clarify that later. It is a very poppy paddle, and it's a 14 millimeter, so I didn't feel like I had that much power in it. But I'm gonna try adding one of those sliders to this to see if I can up the power level. This one is definitely light in the hands. It is not dense. It's not as dense and solid as the Volair, but that's okay because this is quick in the hands. I mean, it is really quick. So yeah, like from the bottom up, the grip is really nice because it's a 14 millimeter. Grip's a little thinner, just like the Volair. Shape's traditional, elongated. It's interesting. The internals, they say it's like a 3 foam core. I'm not sure if it is a floating core, but it does feel like it. Yeah, all in all, it's a great poppy paddle. The only problem is that it's not as gritty. It's relatively smooth, and for 14 millimeter, that doesn't have the thickness to make it plush. I think it might be a little difficult to control the pop that this can produce. So I'm gonna hit with it some more. So far, I haven't had any issues with keeping my my counters and everything down. So maybe the core is good enough to keep the core is good enough to produce enough spin. But one thing I do notice that what I like are the tick marks that they have on this paddle. I really like it, and the reason for that is so that you can customize it. I think it comes with tungsten tape and a neoprene cover that I saw. But these tick marks are evenly spaced, just kind of like enhanced, but less. It's a little more subtle. The tick marks allows you to measure all the where you want to put the tungsten and all that stuff. So I really like that. That's pretty cool. I really like that part about the scoop paddles. But yeah, do you have any information about this or?
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty spot on. I also don't know the configuration of the core, but they describe it as a 3 foam core. So that makes me think. So you got EPP, probably EVA, and then I don't know what that third one, maybe edge foam, not sure. But yeah, I believe it's only 14 millimeters thick. It's triple layer T700 raw carbon fiber face, and then it is your traditional 16.5 by 7.5 inch paddle,
Elongated.
but elongated. But yeah, what you noted, that thinner build puts it at a 7.9 to 8 ounce static weight. But yes, those tick marks, you're exactly right. Those are for lining up weight, and apparently it does come. I think I grabbed them out of that, but it comes with free 18 inches of non-toxic weighted weight at 18 grams. It comes with a neoprene paddle cover. But yeah, if they actually did the math or the testing, so out of the box, 106 swing weight. So that's probably closer to what I'd like. But if you add the 18 grams of weighted tape, that bumps it up to 117 swing weight.
Is this really 106 swing weight stock? It's really light for elongated.
That's what I copied from their website.
106, 121. Think about that.
106 to 17. Oh yeah. But
No.
if you add that, yeah.
But just stock.
Stock, yeah.
106,
But
121. That's a huge difference for 14 millimeter elongated foam paddles.
yeah, but the Volair stock is the elongated is aiming for 8.2. This is aiming for 7.9 to 8. They did do Scoop did measure their target is 106 out of the box, but if you add the 18 grams of weighted tape,
Yeah.
they got it to 117.
Okay.
Stock twist weight 5.6 with the weight 6.9. And yeah, those tick marks I think should be like mandatory for all paddles because I hate trying to line up weight and make it even on each
Yeah.
side. But it sounds like you're really liking it, and you've been maining the Luz Cannon, right? 60 millimeter? Or is
Yeah,
that still your main?
no, I flip flop between the Luz and the Loco, but those are my tournament paddles. Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're thirsty for a Hellcat 60 millimeter, but maybe
Yeah.
try it with some weight and let's see what you think. Because I think it's a good price for a full foam paddle. It's $162 after promo code Matthew K.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I checked the cart in California. That's free shipping still, and that is like all the after code prices you see for most paddles. Companies are adding taxes now. They're adding shipping, and so this is a straight up 162 after discount code, no shipping charge, at least out here in California. So I think you might have found this might be a good sleeper foam option. So Wilson's gonna wrap up his testing. I'm gonna little weak Matthew's gonna hit with it too, get his thoughts. But yeah, it sounds like a very promising under the radar company. But one company that's not under the radar that we're gonna talk about as we wrap up is Friday. You see these guys all over the internet. Wilson has been hitting with the Friday Fever 101 elongated. This paddle is, once again, we're seeing a common theme, triple layer of T700 raw carbon fiber. This paddle, though, is Gen 3 with dual edge foam. It is USAP PB Core 43 certified. It's about $100, but they're always running sales, and promo code Matthew K makes it even lower. And so, how did it play? You've been playing with the elongated. This is, once again, the Friday Fever 101.
Yeah. So this is a Friday Fever 101, their elongated version. I think their 102 Fever 102 is their wide body version.
There will be, after you tell us what you think, those numbers are not denoting shape. So we'll talk about that in a second. But for the Friday Fever 101, what do you think? Yeah.
So this is the Friday Fever 101. It's a pretty standard paddle. I'm gonna have to say it's nothing amazing, nothing industry changing. But it's a Gen 3 paddle. It feels like a nice Gen 3 paddle. However, it doesn't have the same pop and power like a Yola Pro 4 or a Luz Cannon. This would fall in the control or all court category. I've only had 2 days, 2 sessions worth of playtime with this. And it hasn't opened up too much. I would say that's about like 6 to 8 hours of playtime on this. But it's been pretty reliable. It's very controllable, pretty good grit for the price of the paddle. So it's great for control. I do notice that the grip is really fat. Hey, Buffy. The grip is pretty thick. I know this is a 16 millimeter, but I think they could have shaved down the grip or something a little bit. It's a little fat, probably perfect for mats. But yeah, it plays well, but it is lacking some of the firepower that I need in my games. So, but if you're a beginner, intermediate, and you're trying to step into the high performance category of paddles, this might be something you want to check out. I don't know the prices, but maybe Matt can help us out there. But yeah, it's a great entry to high performance paddles, I would say. And that is what Friday's pretty known for. I mean, they have some good beginner paddles and pretty affordable tournament ready paddles. So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, I think their whole thing is like creating paddles for like everyone. And so I think it makes sense. I mean, when we started out, our big paddle that we jumped to was the $100 X-Pac back in the day. This, once again, is $100, but they're always running sales. And so, and promo code Matthew K will stack, it seems, on top of the sales. So a sub $100 paddle with the latest tech. It makes sense that it's not the most firepower oriented paddle because they want it to, like, people that see the ads on Instagram or whatever, like, be able to play with it right out of the box. And then, of course, if you're more advanced, you know how to weight it up. And then the fatter grip, I didn't really realize this, but people don't all put overgrips on their paddles. True. Like, I think the majority of people don't do it. And so I think it's probably smart Friday, knowing their target demographic, making a little bit of a beefier grip, because folks, if you don't know, if you're squeezing too tight, that's how you're going to hurt your elbow. And so, but Wilson, I got a little bit of an update for you.
Ooh.
Coming out from Friday is the Fever 102 in an elongated shape. And so the 101 is lacking something that the new 102 versions of Friday paddles have. The 102 has a rubber perimeter, what they call Elastech, ELASTECH. I thought that was pretty clever. Like elastic, Elastech. But basically, it's a layer of rubber that sits between the perimeter and the honeycomb. The perimeter, I believe the perimeter foam that is in yours, then there's this Elastech, and then there's the honeycomb. And it's supposed to create a bigger sweet spot, more stability, and more power. So now that you're about wrapping up with that one, I think we need to compare the two. Sure. But the difference between the Fever 102 wide body and the elongated, though, is the elongated isn't going to be utilizing 10 millimeter cells like the wide body. And they just thought it performed better with keeping the 8 millimeter cells. Now, you can currently get the wide body 102 right now. And I believe it's on sale as well. I think they're always on sale. So promo code Matthew K should work for that one. And this one will be releasing soon. And yeah, we'll hit with that. And now they've got crazy cool paddle covers you can get as well. And so, yeah, I'm hoping to get some more info from them because I like what Friday Pickleball is doing. They've always been aware of someone types into their search engine I need a paddle, they pop up. And so I think they're doing cool stuff, and we're gonna cover them some more this year. But I think before we wrap up, I did want to talk about today's featured accessory, and that is my Clark Kent. Look, ooh. These are still Carbon Drifts pickleball glasses. I have been using these for now a year long. They've held up really well. These are the glasses from Carbon that came out after their initial more goggle-looking pickleball glasses. I've done a whole review on the Drift, and I just these lenses can pop out. You can put whatever kind of lens you want, but I stick with the clear. This is what I use when I'm playing at night, when I'm playing indoors, and they've held up really well, and I'm a fan. And I just wanted to highlight them again because this, I think having anything last a year is freaking pretty impressive. And you see me play with these. I wear these all the time. And $95 before code, promo code Matthew K, promo code Matthew K 10 saves you 10% on all of Carbon's gear. But yeah, 1 year, and these are still making me look, I don't know what they make me look like, but not a superhero, but at least undercover superhero. I'm really liking them. Check them out. Once again, Carbon, they've been huge supporters of the channel, and I think this is the pair of glasses I keep turning to. I like that they have just a very neutral look. They don't look like goggles. And yeah, so check them out. And now, I've made you look better on the court. I've made you look like Clark Kent, not Superman. You'll have to do that yourself. But now someone's about to make you the Superman of the court. Oh my gosh, this stuff keeps going. It is time for the tip of the week. This is presented by our friends over at BodhiPickleball. If you're looking for overgrips, if you're looking for whatever accessory you're looking for, Bodhi's got it. Check them out. Promo code MatthewK will get you the best price over there. But now it's time to make us better at pickleball. What's the tip of the week, Mr. Wilson?
Yeah, so my tip of the week is something that I've been trying to practice myself. And it's really basic. It's just the out of the air dinks. You know, a lot of people it the purpose of taking your dinks out of the air is to take time away from your opponent. You know, there's a lot of times where people say that you gotta guard the kitchen line, don't give any space and stuff like that. And this kind of helps with that because sometimes if they dink to where your feet is, some people are known to step back a little bit so that they let the ball bounce and then hit. However, that gives your opponent more time and more time and what was it? And there's just more errors for you once you take your eyes away from where the net is. So out of the air dinks, what you can do is just like any other dinks, but you want to reach in just a little bit. Don't reach in so that, you know, until you're like going to lose balance and fall into the kitchen. But reach in and try to get as many. You're going to practice this when you're not actually playing a game, by the way. But try to catch all the balls out of the air whenever possible, and keep it low. And this will allow you to, instead of, you're basically just kind of bunting a dink. You're just bunting it. And what happens is that you can disguise flicks very easily that way. So you're going to be pretending the first few shots, maybe you're gonna just take your dink out of the air, push it back to where their feet are. Eventually, if they hit a ball that's ever so slightly higher than the previous one, you can still use the same motion and flick it or roll it back at them. It allows you to disguise your attacks versus when people try to speed up after a bounce, when they let the ball bounce and then they speed up, you're already so far away from your opponent. You're at least 2-3 feet away, further away. That's already a lot because the kitchen's only 7 feet. So 2-3 feet, that's already almost 50% more distance away from your opponent. They can kind of see your speed up coming at them. So you want to disguise it, catch it out of the air, try to use the same motion. You're not going to use too much wrist. You're just kind of bunting the dink back at your opponent until they mess up, whatever, you bunt it, you dink, you made a really good dink, and they popped it up just so slightly. But you're just gonna pretend you're gonna dink back again, but then you're gonna roll or flick it back at them. And they won't be ready for it because number one, you're taking it out of the air. They're not gonna have enough time to reset their body back to the ready position. And you're disguising it. So they won't be expecting the flick or speed up. So yeah, one thing people should do this year, 2026, is take time away from your opponent. Take your dinks out of the air.
All right, I like it. I definitely think that's gonna be a more advanced strategy. But because if you're taking it out of the air. If you're not doing the step back, you're having to take it out of the air. That's kind of harder to reset.
Timing,
yeah. So you are probably going to be
I said to practice it first. Don't try it at rec play just off the bat, or try it during the warm up. I don't know.
No. I have to try that during warm ups all the time because lots of folks that think they're higher level and have power paddles. When you're trying to just do a simple dinking warm-up, they'll hit it between your feet. Like they can't dink into the kitchen. So you're forced to either, like sometimes when I'm in that situation, like all I want to do is do a dink warm-up and get my hand-eye coordination going. But they can't drop into the kitchen. That just by the nature of like how they're playing. And so then you step back so you can practice your soft dinks. But yeah, then you get frustrated and then I'll end up volleying, and then now I'm in a volley warm up. But I suppose if I was in a game, what do you recommend if you're trying to not hit it out of the, or you're trying not to volley it, and you're trying not to hit it at their body? Are you then suggesting that folks, I'm presuming, go cross court and hit out of the air to do a dink?
Generally, you want to aim cross court or middle.
So
you don't want to dink or hit straight.
Yeah. So I think that the thing that we really have to highlight with what you're talking about, hitting out of the air, if you're hitting out of the air in your kitchen game, you're going to be hitting cross court for the most part, and then when you finally get that speed up flick thing, then you can go forward. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah. Because that's the shortest distance between you and your opponent, straight in front of you. So you want to take away as much time as you can. So when you flick, you're reaching in, you're flicking, you're speeding up at the opponent in front of you. For generally, you want to attack the opponent in front of you.
Yes. So for for the other out of the air dinks, are you going cross court?
Cross court, and then sometimes I'll mix it up to after maybe 3 or 4 cross court dinks and nothing's happening, I'll mix it up and dink middle, just to try to throw my opponent
middle
off.
Yeah. Okay.
But one thing though, one good point that you just made is that people with power paddles now, especially lower level people, they're having a hard time dinking into the kitchen, right? They're dinking to your feet. So that kind of makes it more reasonable for you to take it out of the air, right? They're hitting the ball to you. You don't even have to reach that far. So you do have to use more of your shoulders, not so much of your elbow or your wrist. Just keep it, stiff arm it, and just bunt their shot back at them. Take time out of their shots until they mess up, because with power paddles, pop-ups are much easier.
Yeah.
So
all right.
As soon as they pop it up, whack it away.
Yeah, I hear you. And then I'll add one more thing and we'll wrap up. I'm no Wilson, folks, but if you do find yourself that step back, planting your feet because you're having to deal with other people not being able to dink into the kitchen, that is that's probably what you do when you're trying to learn kitchen play, or you're in like mixed level games. But if you're in a situation where you feel like you need to step back, instead of moving your whole body a step back, do 1 foot back and then pivot back into your kitchen line stance. Just take 1 step back rather than position yourself a step back. And that's kind of an in-between of what Wilson's suggesting, and then probably what you might find yourself doing, which is being stationed step behind the line, which does put you at a disadvantage for a lot of stuff. So if you're not ready to hit everything out of the air, practice the 1 step back and pivot back into the kitchen position. All right, Wilson, we're already getting better at pickleball 2026. All right. Well, that wraps things up for us. All we've got is that one giveaway reminder. Check out the Loco review. Make sure you follow me on Instagram though, because I'll probably be doing more Instagram exclusive giveaways this year. That's at Matthew K Pickleball. And then make sure you subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss out on any of our uploads, and that really helps us out as well. So does giving us a like. But most importantly, I hope you get to pickle soon. Wilson, do you hope these folks get to pickle soon?
I hope everybody gets to pickle soon with this rain.
Great. With this, well, not everyone's here in LA.
True.
But if you don't have rain or you're at one of these pristine indoor places, we hope you get to pickle soon. Just don't forget, it's about having fun.